everybody, welcome to science. So yesterday we looked at a stegosaurus and we learned about the different structures that a stegosaurus had, and you guys worked on our Jamboard, and I appreciate those of you who used this appropriately and didn't add 52 pages or delete anyone's work. So if your work is deleted on here, it's because somebody wasn't using it responsibly. Don't worry, I handled it. Hopefully it won't happen again. So anyways, we learned that the stegosaurus was huge, long as a bus. We learned that it has teeth that are like pegs, so they're flat, they're not sharp. So it ate mostly like dull, like things that you didn't have to like crunch off or rip off. We also learned with its jaw that it only chewed up and down. It couldn't grind side to side, so it would stuff the food kind of in its cheek as it ate. We learned about its spines on the back. Scientists really aren't 100% sure what they were used for, but there's a lot of different ideas out there. Some people thought for like getting heat from the sun, like it collects the heat. Because remember, like you know, at one point there was an ice age, so maybe like that was an adaptation that it had, or a part of its body that helped it to survive. Some people thought that they're used for like to make them look big and scary. Some scientists even believe that they turned red when they were angry. We learned that they're very slow, and that is important to remember. They're super, super, super slow because their front legs are shorter than their back legs. If you look at your dog or your cat right now, if you have one, or think about one that you've seen, their legs are pretty much the same length, which is why they're fast even though they walk on four legs instead of slow. So that's an important thing to remember. They have sharp spikes on their tails. A lot of you guys noticed that, and that was for protection. They could fling their tail around and hurt other animals that were trying to get them. And no one really put it on here, or maybe it got deleted, but their brains are really small. They were not the smartest animals alive. Some scientists did think that they had two brains, though, at one point. Kind of crazy. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to read about the Jeremiah and the structures of the Jeremiah, which will be similar to a squirrel's. And we'll go from there. So here we go. The Jeremiah. Not all animals in the Jurassic period were huge dinosaurs. Some animals were very, very small. One of these small animals was the Jeremiah. The Jeremiah was a furry animal. It looked like a squirrel or a mouse. It lived among the ferns that covered the ground. It also lived up in trees. Below is a fossil of the Jeremiah that they have found, and this is where they learned a lot of their information from. They did learn that Jeremiah was only about the size of a Crunch bar. So pick like one of those mini ones that you get like in the Lunchable. So picture that compared to the Stegosaurus. So you got Stegosaurus, which is taking up this whole room, size of a school bus, and a little Crunch bar, Jeremiah. Something to keep in mind. So it says, what structures do you notice? How do you think these structures help the Jeremiah survive in its environment? So go ahead and just take a look and see if you notice anything. Think about the squirrel structures. So I noticed it has bones all the way down its tail, kind of like a squirrel. So maybe it used its tail for balancing like a squirrel does. Maybe I see it has claws. Maybe it used its claws for gripping like a squirrel does. The drawing below shows what paleontologists think the Jeremiah looks like. Paleontologists are scientists who study fossils. You can find photographs of Jeremiah fossils and other drawings here, so we'll go ahead and take a look at these two. All right, so this is a Jeremiah fossil. These are some Jeremiah fossils. This is how they got that picture. You can see how it's like low to the ground. Notice that its jaw is nice and long, and what do you notice about its teeth if you can see? They're sharp, right? Unlike its Stegosauruses, which were flat, the Jeremiahs were sharp. That looks like it's all the pictures there. How do we know how the Jeremiah looked and lived? Paleontologists have fossil evidence of the Jeremiah, like the fossil you studied above. Fossils show that the Jeremiah was only 3 to 4 centimeters, or about 2 inches long, the size of a little mini Crunch bar. It weighed about 15 grams, or half of an ounce. Imagine this little mammal among the giant dinosaurs that lived during the Jurassic period. And specifically think about it like this. Why would being super small have helped it survive? I mean, think about it. Is a T-Rex going to get full from eating one of those? Probably not. Probably just as full as you're going to get from eating an ant. Please don't eat an ant. But if you ate an ant, imagine how full you'd get. Or like a tiny little crumb of a cookie. Are you going to get full? No, so maybe that's one of the reasons it survived, because maybe the T-Rex and the other predators were going after the bigger dinosaurs instead of the small little ones. The fossil also shows that the Jeremiah had legs and feet for climbing. It could climb up and down trees during the night to catch and eat insects. It could also hide in trees to escape other animals. So think about that. Could the Stegosaurus climb trees? Absolutely not, right? But the Jeremiah could. So how would that have helped them survive? They could get away from predators. They could actually get food. So think about, like, if something happened to all the food on the land, they would still be able to go get food in the trees, like a wildfire. So thinking about all this, the Jeremiah was really small. The Jeremiah had sharp teeth. The Jeremiah could climb. The Jeremiah, what else could they do? I think there's one more thing I'm missing. I can't think of it right this second now. And think about that compared to the Stegosaurus, which, the Jeremiah is quicker. It's fast. Its legs are like a squirrel's, where they're like built for running and jumping and stuff. And then think about the Stegosaurus, which is slow, has to travel in groups to survive because the groups help with protection and all that stuff that you guys mentioned yesterday. The Stegosaurus could only eat one kind of food. It could only eat things that it could like chew like a plant. It couldn't eat anything that would need sharp teeth. It definitely couldn't climb trees. So the Jeremiah seems like it had like a lot of different advantages over the Stegosaurus when it came to survival. So what you're going to do today is you're going to think about one of those advantages. So I want to know what helped what might have, let me rephrase this, hold on. What structures helped the Jeremiah survive compared to the Stegosaurus? So what structures helped the Jeremiah survive, and how might they have had the advantage over the Stegosaurus in survival? So what did their structures allow them to do that the Stegosaurus couldn't do? There's two ways that you can solve this, or answer this. You can either type your answer on slide 2. That's pretty straightforward. You type your answer, explain to me what you're thinking. Or you can use something called Flipgrid, which is a video. You can make a short video of yourself, and everybody else can watch your video. So I know that some people are not comfortable with that, which is why I'm giving you guys two options. So here's how you use Flipgrid. Okay, so to use Flipgrid, you're going to go ahead and you're going to click on the Flipgrid link. I'm not going to click on there just because I want to make sure that it's not logged into my account. So this is what it will take you to. Gotta put it in the right search bar though. Okay, so it says Jeremiah Survival when you first log on. It says join with Google or join with Microsoft. What do you think we're gonna do? Join with Google for sure. Okay, and you want to click your Google account. I'm going to go ahead and use my other account right now because that's what I logged in for as a student. Alright, so it says, Jeremiah Survival. What structures helped the Jeremiah survive? How might they have the advantage over the Stegosaurus? So you're going to go ahead, it says 0 responses right now, and you're going to record your response. There's a 2-minute limit on this, so you're going to have to be short and sweet. If it pops up that your ads are blocked, you need to go ahead and make sure that that your Adobe is blocked. You need to make sure that you click up at the top and push allow. Okay. And I need to allow. And then to start recording, it's much like Seesaw. You push this record button. Mine's not going to let me record a video because I'm already using my camera, kind of like we talked about before. And then you can be already using my camera, kind of like we talked about before. You can delete it. You can redo it. There's the question. There's a note if you want to add it. And then when you're done, sorry, I just want to make sure. So next, put a little effect in it. Put an emoji. Make sure, smiley face. Yes. So when you're done, you go ahead and close out. Oops, I don't want to cancel my recording. So then I push the little button, make sure I'm done, and push confirm. Submit your video, push submit, and then push complete, and then it'll pop up here so you guys will be able to see this practice video that I did. That's black. Alright, so that's your exit ticket. You can either, like I said, you can type it on the second slide, or you can do Flipgrid. It's totally up to you and how you want to do your exit ticket today. And we're focusing on what structures help the Jeremiah survive, and then compare that to the Stegosaurus. How might climbing trees or having sharp teeth or being small help them survive compared to the Stegosaurus? Have fun.